I want to give my 2 cents worth on using conflicts when they relate to things that you can let your software help you on. I want to look here at a page here that I wrote ahead of time, and you can see here that I wrote can you look at the next exhibit for me? And you see it's in blue, and to me that is a conflict with exhibit and then uppercase exhibit with a number trigger after it. In this case there was no number following the word exhibit, so it put it in lowercase. And down here at the next one, the same thing. I'm using the same stroke, XIBT, right here. The same stroke up here, XIBT. Down here, what exhibit are you looking at? The same stroke. And you can see that in these different variations of the question or the answer, it hasn't turned it into a number or anything, or it hasn't capped the word exhibit. Same thing for the word number. So I'm able to use the same stroke, and it's going to work for me correctly because of the artificial intelligence in the software. This doesn't just apply to Eclipse, which is the program I'm using. It applies to many other software programs out there. So don't think that this is just an Eclipse feature. It is not. Other programs do the same thing. You can see here I have the word number. Down here I have the word number, the same stroke, NUB, right here, NUB. But you see on the next one here the word, the number 4, FOUR, is following the NUB, and it turned my conflict into using the second one and capped it, did NO period 4. Down here we had exhibit up here 4 times that were lowercase. Now we have the same stroke, XIBT, with a number following it, FOUR, and the question is, so exhibit 4 is what you have in front of you. Yes, it is. I'll do it again. Is exhibit 4 the number that you are looking at? Yes, comma, it is. Let's try it again and see how it does if I actually write the number bar. Is exhibit 4 the next number that you are, let me write this again if I write it correctly. Is exhibit 4 the next number that you are looking at? And here we go again, and this time I actually wrote the number 4 on the number bar, and it correctly did it for me, and it converted the conflicts correctly. You can use this concept, this definition concept, for many words. You can use it for apartment, exhibit, number, volume, street. I mean, whatever your imagination allows you to want to put together, you're pretty much able to do that with the conflicts that aren't going to be a problem. Now let's look at another one here. What apartment are you living in? I live in apartment 4. Of course I can't write today, but you can see here there's no number following the word apartment as the conflict is calling for. In this case on the bottom, let me hit another stroke after that number to get it to convert it to a number, and you can see here that the software using the artificial intelligence is working. Let's do that again. What apartment are you living in? I live in apartment 4. Well, what apartment were you living in? I was in apartment 7. Now let's just see here how it does with these different issues. I live in apartment 4. What apartment were you living in? I was in apartment 7. You can see here I'm using the same stroke, ARMT, and I'm letting the conflict work through the software's intelligence so that it translates correctly for me, so that I don't have to sit there and remember, okay, should it be capped or should it not be capped? Should I put an asterisk in there or not put an asterisk in there? I use those features for other things, but for the very commonplace words like this, where I can let the artificial intelligence work for me, this is what I do, and it works very well. Is there ever 100% translation? Probably not. But is it 99.9%? Probably so. I mean, there's probably ways you could trip it up to where it might mess up, but it would probably be more contingent on you misstroking versus if you write it correctly, it will work for you. So I wanted to throw that out there, and for students that might be worried about your conflicts and stuff like that, it is okay to have conflicts in certain areas of words. Now, you may not want to have other words in a conflict because they may just be too dicey for the artificial intelligence to work. But in this case, you've seen some examples here of how a conflict can work for you and work very well for you to save you having to think and possibly even hesitate when you're writing versus just writing stuff like this and not worrying about it. I hope that helps, and with that I will close.